This should have been fixed years and years and years ago. What can we do to stop this from continuing? I'm supposed to be recovering. The rest of us are supposed to be recovering, and we can't do that. We can't do that.
Really something people want. Really good job, and I don't deny that.
How I feel. I feel worried. I feel angry. I just know that
he targeted that spot where I was. I mean, it's by a miracle that I wasn't shot because I was like right there.
He's acting out, and it's funny. Sometimes I forget that we are the high schoolers here.
Last night, just embracing it because 17 people died.
Yes, I just got a call from...
And then the third, I realized what was happening. Shots. I didn't move, and my friend in the same corner with like a handful of kids. There was a fact running through the room, and right here, and then along my face is where I got hit with shrapnel, and above my eye.
And if it wasn't,
My auntie working an active shooter incident.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
We're open the door right now.
Yeah.
You were with your brother when the shooting took place.
I didn't know if it was going to be the person who was going to execute us.
I just got a call saying that there was a school shooting.
Yes, we're aware of the case.
So it's true?
Yes, sir. There is a school shooting in Parkland.
Know what was going on could have accidentally attracted the shooter because we didn't know what was happening. And the second the SWAT team broke in our window and came in, I didn't know.
all right, so we made it out.
You have him back. Please drop it right here. If you just walked up, don't go anywhere. Hold up. Correct. If you just showed up, stay here. Everybody else go. Raise your hand.
Usually shot in the chest so that she was gone. Dick. She did.
Fire rescue has set up a put in the back of that fire rescue vehicle.
He lifted me with my from my arms. Like I looked back and like I saw like Nick and like Helena. Like,
Emma Gonzalez.
They say that no laws could have been able to prevent the hundreds of senseless tragedies that have occurred. We call BS! That us kids don't know what we're talking about, that we're too young to understand how the government works. We call BS!
The idea of a march came 5 days after the shooting.
We have to do it all across the nation so our voices will be heard.
This revolution had begun, and it was never going to stop.
No more violence! And gun violence!
It puts you an incredible cause because what you've seen.
A lot because it showed that we were being serious, that we weren't going to let people forget about this. This was our first really campaign rally, I guess you could say. And we started getting supporters like George Clooney, Oprah Winfrey. After having all the initial momentum and the real criticism started coming in.
Social media accounts picked up false claims that students who saw their friends and teachers die were crisis actors.
The suggestion that some of these students' grief has been co-opted.
Crisis actors who travel to the sites of shootings to instigate fury against guns.
Activists, they appear to have been coached.
Do we really think 17-year-olds on their own are going to plan a nationwide rally?
Why is it 4 kids out of 3,000, and why are they all in the drama club?
Here's David Hogg, can't remember his lines while being interviewed for television.
The media is focusing on an agenda.
Gun control agenda.
A political agenda for the American left of the Democrat Party. This is totally political.
Some of these accusations are now being promoted by the president's own son.
Don Jr.
First of all, that Donald Trump Jr. is liking tweets espousing a conspiracy theory involving you and your dad. I'm wondering what goes through your mind when you hear that?
I am the son of a former FBI agent, and that is true. But as such, it is also true that I go to Stoneman Douglas High School, and I was a witness to this. I'm not a crisis actor. I'm somebody that had to witness this and live through this, and I continue to have to do that. But I'm also that it's unbelievable to me that these people are even saying this, and the fact that Donald Trump Jr. liked that post is disgusting to me. The fact that these people are being critical of me as a witness and partially as a victim to this incident and having to witness this and live through it again and again, it's
And Emma Gonzalez, me.
Change America, that change the world! We have to do it all across the nation so our voices will be heard.
We were preparing for the town hall that night, greeting kids that were walking out and thanking them. Because it showed that it happened at Marjorie Stoneman Douglas, but it affected the entire county.
No more silence and gun violence! No more silence and gun violence!
Some kids marching 10 miles, some kids marching 5, some kids marching 50. Just what we were doing means something.
It was completely word of mouth. We got texts saying, oh, come, let's go to
After the shooting, some students went to Tallahassee to try to lobby lawmakers.
Well, I wasn't in Tallahassee. I stayed behind to continue doing press.
You guys are being watched by the entire nation.
And I got to hear text. This politician sidestepped the problem.
We are MSD, we're here to make some history. We are MSD, we're here to make some history. We are MSD.
I got to see just how empathetic our lawmakers are. And that was important for us, because that made us realize that we can't sit back and expect change. We have to demand it.
What do we want? Gun control! When do we want it? Now!
I want to bring in Cameron Kasky. He's
A single donation from the NRA in the future.
The question is about NRA money.
So number one, the positions I hold on these issues of the Second Amendment, I've held since the day I entered office in the city of West Miami as an elected official. Number two, no, the answer to the question is that and I also view and everyone here to be go to school and be safe. Support guns at a range, and that's why I support the things that I have stood for and fought for during time.
NRA money, NRA money.
You say second, and you're right.
Can you stand up and
right
donate to that real quick?
Oh my, that kid. Marco Rubio needs to calm down, okay?
I can't do anything. To be recovering, and we can't do that. We can't do that if these things are still going to be happening, and the fact that they are still happening. I can't, because I can't do it.
Buildings don't like have a pulse, and they don't have arms or legs, but it like always feels like it's gonna run towards me, you know what I mean? In a way, even though it's just a building. I just need some kind of closure, some kind of explanation that I know that I'll never really get.
For me right now.
It's weird that like buildings don't like have a pulse, and they don't have arms or legs, but it like always feels like it's gonna run towards me, you know what I mean? In a way, even though it's just a building. I've grown up with this building. Like I've had like so many classes and so many experiences. There's like so many like good memories associated with it, but like now like every possible good memory you can have in that building is like completely canceled. Like there's no way you can fix what's been done. I just need some kind of closure, some kind of explanation that I know that I'll never really get. My faith means everything to me. God, in my opinion, is, in my words, a miracle. There was a shooting at Marjorie Stoneman Douglas. I was in a classroom in which I did get shot twice. No matter what you go through, you don't even know what, not overwhelmed with anger just at hearing his name. Although I'm still angry right now because of everything that happened, but it's a different type of anger. It's the anger that drives me to do a movement, to go forward. That's the anger that I have now. The Never Again movement is symbols. I would stick to me. I don't want anyone else.
15 days, Mr. Speaker. So the bill passes.
This bill would raise the age to purchase a firearm to 21 years old from 18 years old. It would require a 3-day waiting period to buy a firearm.
Will allow teachers to carry guns.
To the students at Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School, you made your voices heard. You didn't let up, and you fought until there was change. You helped change your state. You made a difference. You should be proud. Now let's sign it.
Us yet.
Being a victim of gun violence has nothing to do with my stance on the Second Amendment. Free people, United States of America.
There has been a lot of pushback from adults who say, look, why should a group of kids be telling adults what rights they...
We're being treated like we're in a war zone. We were never drafted for this war. We shouldn't be placed in situations where we're constantly being torn between, do I hide behind someone? Do I jump in front of someone? Will my teacher accidentally shoot me in the crossfire?
You're not gonna knock us down, we'll get back up again.
Everybody on my team and I, we looked at each other and we said, we have changed the world. Leaders don't create followers, they create other leaders. We led this fight, and from that, everybody is stepping up.
We'll get back up again. You may have hurt us, but I promise we'll be stronger, and we're not gonna let you win. We're putting up a fight. You may have brought ever fall. We're done with all your little games. We're tired of hearing that we're too young to ever make a change.
Students from Florida to California have marched out of their classrooms today.
At a time when the country is politically divided, an unprecedented sign of unity by students across the nation.
17 minutes of protests to honor the 17 victims of the massacre.
You may have brought the dark, but together we will shine a light.
Future voters, our ideas are not being represented in office. In fact, they're getting us killed. They're getting us shot and injured and mentally scarred forever. And how is that fair to us? It's not. And that's when we put our foot down. That's when we decide that enough is enough, and that never again is a legitimate phrase.
You're not gonna knock us down, we'll get back up again. You may have hurt us, but I promise we'll be stronger, and you're not.
When we see the enormity of how far it reaches, how many people go out in the streets.
You want to see the streets full.
That counts.
It will be alright. Stand up for one another and we'll never give up.
So for you to see schools around the country, kids around the country walking out, that had a big impact.
It was, everybody on my team and I, we looked at each other and we said, we have changed the world. And I say this all the time, leaders don't create followers, they create other leaders. We led this fight, and from that, everybody is stepping up.
We're not gonna let you in. We're putting up a fight. You may have brought the dark, but together
17 people died. And we can't forget about them. Because without them, change wouldn't happen. Change is happening. I can see it on the horizon. We can't let people forget about the 17 that sacrificed their lives. And I think that is the most important thing.